So, I realize that I'm seeing some, excuse me, a little different tree work here on how to get the suckers going and stuff, so I thought I would document that. Almost looks from where I'm seeing here is could be drilled a little bit there. Is there any drilling kind of pattern? And if that's de-skinned to look like that big triangle or what. And then here's a building up sucker, whether that was one that I wouldn't doubt it if all suckers off of the sucker system probably have to be stimulated, all of them. I don't know if any of them will naturally come. That one's obviously being built up for structural strength. It's got the fairly big triangle look to it too. See, then we see this hole over there, and then we see that one up there. And then there's some new stuff. No. Right through there. Yeah, you see those few back in there? See how those are working? Big bulgy, big twisty. Oh, that's how the plant goes, Tin Man. Nope. That's how our friends help. Look at that little slice there. Whoops, right there in the back. Never know, that might be them. Hopefully that focuses a bit. All those little twerky twerks. You never know. I see a lot of crosses, and when what you have to think about these crosses, how they can be created, is they can be created by just see, so they're being a little rough on this girl on this backside here. It really helps her belly, helps her swell up, helps her suck a lot, especially during the wet season. I've made these patches here, but you can see a fair enough scuff that doesn't look just deer and such, all that kind of game animal. And then you see, a collection of rock. A collection of rock is not a bad sign. So you can see where it looks like this was an old injury. Way back time, near meat time, and it's left its scar. If I were to pick this off, that is carried forward part of the pattern that happened then, and part of their technique, how they covered it up. And once it got to the bark stage, they didn't worry about trying to make that bark like that, so they left their fingerprint right here. Another one right here. They did a bunch of aggressive work on this girl. Lots of all this stuff is all part of it too. Like, they'll still come here and they'll go pick, 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 pick. Like that. And that's for the inside part. Does injury, and then the tree creates bark there in that spot and keeps pushing this out, and then they keep coming around and they do, if they're into that on the in particular tree. These couple of trees here, it doesn't look like they're really into doing that so much. So now you see all this within a little reach here. There's kind of a slicey pattern in the young growth of this branch here, and you do that the same reason, is to get it sucking quicker. Now if we look at that type of bark and stuff, and we look at this kind of bark, that tree is not the kind of bark that I would think would go with this tree. See, and you can see some gates that are going across here, stopping this nice climb, and look at that climb. It's, if you're going on the bank side, then you're going on a bank side. You know what the climb is like that. So just think about you being willing to walk through here. So I'm going to just work it out a bit. Step, 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 step up. Oh, whoops. I wasn't looking at the camera. Yeah, so step up there. Step, 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 step. I'm sure you guys are kind of picking out on them, and they're sideways steps. They're not necessarily... how we make our steps 10 inches to 12 inches so we can stand like this. They wouldn't have to. They would probably go with 6-inch width. or 4-inch width or something like that. 6 inches more they'll call. And yeah, they'd be able to get by with that kind of a structure in a house, say, if they ever went, you know what my craziness is saying. And then right here, if you look at this games trail, oh, and there's a, you know, you'd get, so if this is a games trail, let's just step up here, or you know, a boat trail, you know, you can zip back into there. Well, then I'm sure there's more to zip back that way. Look at how all this structure is kind of even, how the plantation is all kind of come together like that, but there's a doorway right there, right? This is a gate, and then there's a little bit of tripping hazard stuff, a step over gate, you know, that has green on it, and its brother grew straight up. So, you know, then you got that way to go up. Looks like path stuff through there. You got all this beautiful green that they probably been working. If I started zooming in on all this tree here, I bet you I'd be able to see a number of things. Look at that one right here for an example. I'm just going to go to this in particular one. You can see all that. You might not be focusing very well. Let me try to focus it. And it's kind of like a linear scarring. Okay. So why is she getting it and not so much all the other ones? Well, here's another one right here. Might come in really well for you. What's that? And then look at it's going up onto the small part of the tree there. Probably carrying on. And on that one back there, you know, we've got a number of what looks like branches that were starting on it that they changed their mind, and they had a whole bunch going, and then forced it and got rid of what they didn't want. And that helps create energy, like we talk about when they do a damage to that spot. This system really sucks energy for healing through the earth, and it gets there quick. And turn around. I'll look at my time here. Where am I? Okay. So we can see this side of the tree that is probably marked up a lot more than the other side, because I didn't recall it going up so high like that. And with all the long stretch marks or long cut marks, they're cut helped is basically what happens, and then they're continued to be cut, stimulated in a way, like I said, where somebody will just come in and do irritation or whatever, or they'll take off branch. They'll take off branch for sucking, and see how they're building up around this one. That'll be part of their scoring. It looks, you know, this pattern of scoring right there is probably different than this. And it starts to lesser the amount. Because with a branch, as it grows, does this piece, like, where does it extend from? So where's that limb going to, is it going to just continue to get bigger and stay approximately in this area? You know, say if this little sucker on top was alive, would it just stay right there its whole life and just keep going bigger and bigger? Or does that elbow and stuff end up extending out a great deal? So I'd question that myself. Something I'll be able to see with my eyes is basically how I learned a lot of this stuff. Because I'm watching the change, you guys. It happens fast. Peace out. Nice stretch.